Welcome to English Drive-Thru. I'm Iris, and here with Ernesto and our little dog Spody, we make real-world English easy. Today we are learning how to book a doctor's visit like a pro.
We have some great samples lined up for you that cover different situations you will face at a clinic. These will give you the confidence you need for your next appointment call. Let's jump into the practice samples.
Good morning, City Health Clinic. This is Iris speaking. How can I help you today?
Hi Iris, I would like to schedule an annual physical with my primary care physician. I think I am due for my yearly checkup and some routine blood work.
Let me check the schedule for Dr. Miller. We have an opening next Tuesday at 10 in the morning, if that works for you.
That sounds perfect. Please put me down for that slot and let me know if I need to fast before the appointment.
Oh, Ernesto, I am feeling really under the weather today. I have a terrible cough and a fever, and I really need to see a doctor as soon as possible.
I am sorry to hear that, but we are actually fully booked for the rest of the day. Is there any way you can wait until tomorrow morning?
I honestly feel quite miserable and was hoping you could squeeze me in. Is there a chance of a cancellation or a quick gap in the schedule?
Let me see what I can do for you. Actually, a patient just called to reschedule, so I can fit you in at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Hello, I am calling to follow up on a referral my doctor sent over last week for a dermatologist. I want to make sure you received the paperwork so I can set up a consultation.
Yes, we received the referral from your physician. Before we book the date, I need to verify your insurance coverage to see if we are in network for your plan.
That makes sense. I have my insurance card right here, and I can give you the policy number and the group ID whenever you are ready.
Great, let me type that into the system. It looks like you have a $20 co-pay for specialist visits, and we can see you next Thursday at 3.
Now that we have heard those 3 samples, let's dive deep into the specific phrases that make you sound like a native speaker. In the first sample, Ernesto mentioned wanting to schedule a physical.
This is a key term because it refers to your comprehensive annual check-up rather than just a quick visit for a cold. You can also use the term primary care physician to refer to your main doctor.
When I responded, I told him that the clinic had an opening next Tuesday. An opening is simply a vacant time on the calendar that is available for a patient.
Ernesto then used the phrase "put me down for that slot," which is a great way to confirm. It means you want the receptionist to write your name in that specific time period.
He also asked if he needed to fast before the appointment, which is very common for blood tests. Fasting means you don't eat anything for several hours before the doctor sees you.
Moving to the second sample, we heard a very useful idiom when Iris said she was feeling under the weather. This is the perfect way to say you are feeling sick without being too specific.
I then asked the receptionist to squeeze me in because I was feeling so miserable. This phrase is a polite way to ask for an appointment even when the office is very busy.
It implies that you know they are fully booked, but you are hoping for a small gap in their schedule. A cancellation is exactly what makes those small gaps possible in a busy day.
When a patient calls to say they cannot make it, that creates an opportunity for someone else. The receptionist might then say they can fit you in, which is the same as finding an opening.
Our third scenario was a bit more complex because it involved insurance and specialist doctors. Iris mentioned she wanted to follow up on a referral that her doctor sent.
A referral is a formal document that allows you to see a specialist, like a cardiologist or an orthopedist. You always want to follow up to ensure the paperwork didn't get lost in the mail or email.
The receptionist then asked about insurance coverage and being in network. In network means that the doctor and your insurance company have a pre-existing agreement on pricing.
If a doctor is out of network, you might end up paying a lot more money out of your own pocket. This is why verifying your insurance card information over the phone is a crucial step.
We also use the word co-pay, which is the small, fixed amount you pay at the time of your visit. It is usually quite affordable, like $20 or $40, depending on your specific plan.
Finally, we talked about a consultation, which is usually the very first meeting with a new doctor. It is a time to discuss your medical history and decide on a plan for your care.
All of these terms are part of the daily vocabulary in the United States healthcare system. Using them correctly will help you navigate your appointments with much less stress and more clarity.
It is also helpful to remember that medical receptionists are often very busy people handling many calls at once. Being direct and using these specific terms helps them help you much more efficiently.
Don't be afraid to ask the receptionist to repeat something if they are speaking too fast. You can simply say, "Could you please clarify that for me?" or "Could you repeat the time?"
When you arrive at the office, the first thing they will usually ask for is your identification and your insurance card. Having those ready will make the check-in process go much smoother for everyone involved.
Practicing these scenarios will help you feel more comfortable the next time you need to pick up the phone. Remember that clear communication is the best tool you have for managing your health.
Let's look back at that first call where Ernesto mentioned he was due for his yearly checkup.
That phrase is such a useful shortcut because it implies that a deadline has already passed or is very close.
You aren't just asking for an appointment, you're saying that according to the medical schedule, it's time.
It is much more natural than saying the date for my annual exam has arrived on the calendar.
Then, when I gave him a time, he said put me down for that slot, which sounds very confident.
It tells the receptionist that you are making a firm decision and they can stop looking for other options.
Using the word slot instead of appointment or time is a very common way to talk about a schedule.
We also heard about fasting, which is a specific medical term that people often find confusing.
It just means no food, but in a clinical context, it's the standard word everyone uses.
In the second scenario, we used the phrase feeling under the weather to explain being sick.
It is the perfect idiom because it is polite and covers everything from a cold to a headache.
When the clinic was full, you asked if I could squeeze you in, which is a very active phrase.
It suggests that I know they are busy, but I am hoping for a small gap in their day.
This leads right into the idea of a cancellation, which is the golden ticket for a busy clinic.
If you ask about cancellations, you're showing the receptionist that you understand how their system works.
Now, these phrases aren't just for doctors, they work in so many daily life contexts.
Take under the weather, for example. You can use it when you need to cancel plans with friends.
You could text a friend and say, "I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so I'm going to skip the party."
It sounds much softer and less detailed than saying I have a runny nose and a cough.
The phrase "squeeze in" is also a lifesaver when you are dealing with a busy work schedule.
If a colleague wants to talk, you can ask, "Can we squeeze in a quick call before lunch?"
It emphasizes that the meeting will be short because your time is limited.
We also mentioned following up, which is a key skill for any kind of customer service.
You can follow up on a job application, a late package, or even a question you asked a teacher.
I'm calling to follow up on my order, tells the person that you are checking on the status of something.
Another one is the word opening, which is perfect for booking things like a hair appointment.
You'd ask, "Do you have any openings for a haircut this Saturday afternoon?"
It's the standard way to ask for availability without sounding too robotic.
And put me down for works great when you are volunteering or signing up for a group activity.
If a neighbor is organizing a block party, you can say, "Put me down for bringing the drinks."
It means you want your name added to the list for that specific task.
Finally, we should talk about how to adjust your tone to sound more relaxed or more polite.
When you are calling a new specialist, you might say, "I would like to schedule a consultation."
But if you are calling your regular doctor you've seen for years, you can say, "I'm looking to get a checkup."
"I would like to" is your safe, polite option, while "I'm looking to" feels more casual.
If the receptionist says something too fast, you could say, "Could you please clarify that for me?"
That is very polite. If you want to be more relaxed, you might say, "I didn't quite catch that."
Or even, "What was that time again?" which is friendly but still respectful.
If you are asking for a favor, like a last-minute spot, starting with "Is there any chance?" works wonders.
It sounds much softer than "Is there a way?" because it shows you know you're asking for something extra.
"I was hoping you could" is another great phrase to use when you need help with a difficult schedule.
It takes the pressure off the other person, which often makes them want to help you more.
These small changes in your phrasing can really change how people respond to you over the phone.
Being able to switch between these levels of politeness is what really makes you sound like a pro.
Ernesto, let's jump right into our rapid-fire scenarios. I want to see how you handle some tricky situations. Imagine you call the clinic and the receptionist tells you that the first available opening isn't for another 3 weeks, but you really feel like you need to be seen sooner. What is the most effective way to handle that without sounding demanding?
That is a classic situation, and it happens all the time in busy cities. I wouldn't just say okay and hang up because that doesn't help my health. Instead, I would use the phrase waitlist. I'd say, I understand you're booked up, but is there any way you could put me on a waitlist? It shows that I am willing to be flexible if someone else cancels their appointment.
That's a great move because it puts the ball back in their court. You can also ask if they have a cancellation list specifically. Sometimes they will even suggest calling back first thing in the morning to see if any spots opened up overnight. Now, let's try scenario 2. You're talking to a nurse and they are giving you very complex instructions for a procedure, and you're starting to feel overwhelmed by the medical vocabulary. How do you slow them down?
When I feel lost, I like to use the phrase walk me through. I would say, sorry, could you walk me through those steps one more time, but a little slower? It is much friendlier than just saying I don't understand. It implies that I want to learn the process. If it's still too much, I might ask, would it be possible to get those instructions in writing? Asking for an email or a printout is a very common request.
I love that. Having it in writing saves you from making mistakes later. For our final lightning scenario, let's talk about tone. What if the person on the other end of the phone sounds a bit short with you? Maybe they are having a stressful day and they sound a little impatient or grumpy. How do you stay professional and still get your questions answered?
It can be intimidating when someone is short with you, but I try not to take it personally. I usually start by acknowledging their situation. I might say, I realize you're probably having a very busy day. I just have one quick question about my lab results. By acknowledging that they are busy, you often see their attitude change immediately because they feel seen and respected. It turns a cold conversation into a human one.
It really does work like magic. Validating their stress can turn a difficult call into a successful one. Now, Ernesto, we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's hit the listeners with our drive-through recap to make sure they walk away with the most important tools. What is our first high-value tip for mastering these calls?
Tip number 1 is to always mention if you are due for something. Don't just ask for a generic appointment. Tell them you are due for a checkup or due for a cleaning. It gives the receptionist a medical reason to prioritize your request. It makes it sound like a necessary task that is already on the schedule, rather than a new request you just thought of today.
Exactly. It changes the dynamic of the request entirely. What about our second big tip for finding a spot on a crowded calendar?
Tip number 2 is to look for the gaps. Use phrases like squeeze me in or ask about cancellations. These are the secret keys to getting an appointment when the official calendar looks full. It shows the receptionist that you understand how their system works and that you are willing to take a chance on a last-minute opening.
And finally, what is the third tip for making sure nothing falls through the cracks after the phone call is over?
Tip number 3 is the power of the follow-up. If you're waiting for news, don't just wait forever. Call back and say, I'm calling to follow up on my blood work or I'm following up on a referral. It keeps your name on their radar and ensures that your health needs stay a priority. Being proactive is the best way to manage your own care.
Those 3 tips are the foundation of navigating the American healthcare system with confidence. We hope these scenarios and phrases help you feel much more prepared the next time you have to pick up the phone. Practice these out loud a few times, and you will notice a huge difference in how you are treated.
The more you use these phrases, the more they become part of your natural vocabulary. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The goal is communication, not perfection. Every call you make is a chance to get a little bit better at your English skills.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of English Drive-Thru. If you enjoyed these practical tips, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. We appreciate you being part of our learning community, and we'll see you in the next one.